I can't be afraid now. Put me on the stage now. I'm ready to rage now. I feel like an animal stuck in a cage and I'm ready to break out. My time, my time. None of you people can tell me to stop. This time, like the last time, you better get ready to race to the top. I'm ready to do this, show you what the truth is. I step on the field, it's time to get real. I'm feeling so ruthless. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down. Hand over my crown. Hand over my heart. I do this for my town. I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. Yeah. So what are you afraid of? Those feelings are made up. Get in the game, your moment of fame. Show them what you made of. It's time that we stand up. It's time that we man up. For anyone asking who is the best, we putting our hands up. My time. Nothing can keep me from reaching the top. This time, like the last time, I'm moving so fast, I'm ready to rise. I'm ready to throw down. It's time for the showdown. I'm ready to rise. Don't be surprised, I'll take on the world now. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down. Hand over my crown. Hand over my heart. I do this for my town. I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. My town, my crown. We know what it takes to be reaching the top. We're reaching the top. We're reaching the top. We know what it takes to be reaching the top. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. My town, my crown. We know what it takes to be reaching the top. We're reaching the top. We're reaching the top. We know what it takes to be reaching the top. Lower the lights down. Hand over my crown. Hand over my heart. I do this for my town. I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. Turning the track up. I'll never go back down. Hand over my heart. I do this for my town. I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Anytime you can have a product that can truly change someone's life, I think that's an incredibly powerful product. I can't tell you how long we put into research and development for this. Most liquid carnitine is around 1,500 milligrams. We have a 2,000 milligram blend of 4 different types of liquid carnitine. We also have GBB, so you're actually going to be burning fat after you consume this product. This is going to make you sweat. This is going to make you not want to stop. You are going to perform like you've never performed before, and I can promise you that.
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. Beats all you never saw, been in trouble with the law since the day they was born. Straightening the curves, flattening the hills. Someday the mountain might get 'em, but the law never will. Making their way the only way they know how. That's just a little bit more than the law will allow. Just a good old boy, they wouldn't change if they could. Fighting the system like a true modern day Robin Hood.
Live from the virtual Daytona International Speedway in virtual Daytona Beach, Florida. Welcome, sim racing fans, to the Core Racing Vintage Cup Series live on Racecraft TV. Happy that you all could join us here on this beautiful Monday evening alongside Jordan Hicks. I'm your host, Joshua Lee, and tonight we enter the second round of the playoffs for the Core Racing Vintage Cup Series. Looking at your current playoff standings, they have been reset as 8 drivers now look to move their way into the Championship 4 in Kansas in a few weeks' time. Looking at this list, you can see the 2 of Nick Nickerson, the 64 of Christopher Hamilton, and the 8 of Kevin Foster. All 3 of those drivers got wins in round number 1, so they sit with 5 bonus points heading into this round. But Jordan, Handwork, Andrews, Fuller, Crockett, and Butler, they're still at 4,000, only 5 points behind those top 3. It's anybody's game, especially as we enter into the World Center of Racing here tonight.
You know, definitely. I'm really excited for this one because this is personally one of my favorite tracks on iRacing and in general. And so this track is known for a lot of cars going really, really fast and some high-speed wrecks as we've seen previously in the last few years. So I'm excited to be here at Daytona.
And we enter this round, of course, here at the 2.5-mile High Bank Oval. That is the historic Daytona International Speedway. We go slightly north to the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the next round of the playoffs. So, sorry, the next race of the playoffs here in round 2. Then we head a little bit further north to Richmond Raceway, and then we'll be capping off the season for the final round of the playoffs at Kansas. That's coming up in just a handful of weeks. It is getting down to the nitty-gritty of this championship, and as we enter into this round, every but one of those top 8 are here, and a win in this race will solidify that spot in the championship 4. Win and you are in. There's a lot of drivers looking to make sure that they capitalize on the opportunity they have tonight, because at the Daytona International Speedway, as I've seen in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series in virtual and in real life, the NASCAR Cup Series, anybody can win here at the Daytona International Speedway. We saw it with Mark Thomas a little bit ago, a couple of months ago now, at the Talladega Super Speedway. Now we're getting ready to see these drivers take on another super speedway here at the Daytona International Speedway. As the field is going to take to the grid, we'll take a look at your starting lineup here in just a moment, but field taking to the grid now. We'll take a look at tonight's track facts here from the historic Daytona International Speedway. Of course, opening up in 1959 here in the beautiful state of Florida, Daytona Beach to be specific. 2.5 miles, the longest track at the time of building, and the Talladega Super Speedway came from Bill France wanting to build a larger and faster track than Daytona, and that's how we got the Talladega Super Speedway, located just a little bit more to the west in Talladega, Alabama. Race analysis tonight, 50 laps on the docket here in race 1 of round 2 of the playoffs, and 1 fast repair. That is going to come in handy. As we know, Daytona is known for the big one. It's not if, but when that big one will happen, and we'll see who will be able to escape said big one when it happens. Field still waiting to grid up. Most of your drivers are there, still waiting on your pole sitter, 5th place and 7th place to get onto the grid. And then we'll take a look at that starting lineup here tonight. There's your pole sitter, the number 50 on the grid. And as we wait for the remainder of the drivers to hit the grid, we'll start grabbing a look at your starting lineup here tonight as we get ready to go racing here from the beautiful Daytona International Speedway, the World Center of Racing. Up front, it's Mark Thomas in the 50 with a great run in qualifying. He'll start on the pole. To his outside, it's Christopher Hamilton in the 64. Dylan McDonald and Andrew Gunther will share row 2. 2 fast drivers there. Carl Handwerk and Nick Nickerson, possibly the 2 championship favorites, sharing row 3 here at Daytona. Wesley Fuller, Joshua Bollitter in the 3, share row 4. Rounding out your top 10, it's Kevin Foster and Matt Crockett. Matt Crockett and Kevin Foster both looking to make it into the championship 4 of the playoffs. Paul Butler, another one of those championship drivers in the number 68. He's alongside Dave Lohr. Good qualifying effort from the 17 machine. He sits to the outside of row 6. Jimmy Covert on the inside of row 7. Eliminated from the playoffs after last week's race in New Hampshire. He's alongside Eric Andrews in the 9, still holding on to that playoff spot. And rounding out your field, it's Derek Sherman in the 51 inside of row 8 in 15th. So that's your entire starting grid here tonight, and the field is pacing its way through turns 3 and 4 here at the historic Daytona International Speedway. 50 laps they'll go racing for here tonight, and we're glad you could join us here on Racecraft TV for all of the flag-to-flag coverage of tonight's Core Racing Vintage Cup Series. The base car will make its way into the safety of pit lane, and we'll let these 15 1987 Cup cars race on a track a lot smoother than the one they were on in 1987. It's Daytona. It's the first race of round 2 of the playoffs, and it's green. Already getting dicey. One car getting into the wall. That was the 2. He's able to save it, but 2 by 2 throughout pretty much the entire field as they work their way into turn number 1 for lap number 2. Everybody fighting for positions only on one car. Around hard into the wall is Andrew Gunther in the 59.
There is possibly one of the big wrecks of the race, Josh, already. Lap 2 of 50. It seems like he got a little loose there coming out of 1 and 2. As we're going to take a look at the replay, because that was definitely one hard hit. So you can see the 59 taps the wall and goes down a little bit into the 2, causing Nick Nickerson to get a little loose, but saves it. But not the start of the race that the 59 of Andrew Gunther wanted here tonight.
We'll grab another angle at this. Just looked like he got a little bit too far up the track and into the wall. Almost hit the 2. I don't think he made contact, which is going to be good for Nick there. Don't believe any contact was made. We'll see if we can grab one more angle of this. He definitely just got a little bit too far up the track. And as I was going to say, as they came down the back straightaway, the speeds were getting in excess of 210 miles an hour. When they came down into turn number 3 for the first time there, these cars have no restrictor plates on them. So we're used to seeing here at Daytona and at Talladega with the modern day NASCAR race cars, they have restrictor plates on them, or they used to have restrictor plates on them. Now they have a different form of airflow limitation to where they can have the speed reduced to make it a little bit more safe for these drivers. Tapered spacer, that's the word I was looking for. Tapered spacer on the cars to make them go just a little bit slower than they used to. And here with no restrictor plates, 210 miles an hour entering a quarter, Jordan, that is nowhere near easy to handle. And with these cars especially, these cars just get way up to the wall, and these drivers need to almost lift going into the corners, especially when those tires start to wear.
You know, definitely. I was really thinking about how these drivers are actually just going into the turns at, like you said, 210 miles an hour. It's crazy to see how these drivers actually handle it. You can see these drivers are already pulling into pit lane. See the 35 of Wesley Fuller, the leader, into pit lane. So I'm curious to see how everyone does it and gets out.
Handful of drivers making their way in. We'll focus on the 35 of Fuller as he enters his pit stall. We'll see how fast that number 35 can get out of the pit lane. Fuller looking to get into the championship 4 as a good opportunity tonight here at Daytona. It can go well for him. 3 cars stay out. Dylan McDonald's in the 38. He is your race leader. And the other drivers staying out were Mark Thomas and Derek Sherman. Barely winning the race off pit road was Carl Handwerk there in the 18. Great run for that Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Racecraft TV colors on that car, and Core Racing League as well on the hood for him. That'll bring them back into the pacing line, but Dylan McDonald currently leads the way from the world's center of racing. And they head into turn number 3. Mark Thomas staying out behind him. Now, you remember the last time we went to a super speedway track, it was the 50 of Mark Thomas that got the win done in spectacular fashion, mind you. It was maybe 3 wrecks from turn 3 to the start-finish line. 3 distinct wrecks that you can point out. And Mark Thomas was able to get through all of them and win it on the final lap. That is just the resilience you need here at restrictor plate tracks to be able to do that. We'll see if Mark Thomas can have a little bit of better luck, maybe be leading on the final lap and come across the lead at the checkered flag. To maybe not have to really work for that win like he did at Talladega and work through those incidents. And the 59 of Andrew Gunther coming out of the pit lane, cold tires, spins it around, but he's good. He's getting it back going. 2 laps down, unfortunately. That is because he was in that wreck on lap number 2 that brought out this caution. So we're working our way on lap number 5 of 50 here tonight, just edging into this race. Be able to make their way out of turn number 2. Single file restart as accustomed here in the Core Racing Vintage Cup Series. It has been single file restarts for the majority of this season with any lap machines on the inside. It looks like Andrew Gunther will grab a wave around to work his way to the back of the field. And he'll start on the tail end of the field, 1 lap down. So your top 5, Dylan McDonald, Mark Thomas, Derek Sherman, Carl Andwerk, and Wesley Fuller as they go racing on a mostly cloudy night here in virtual Daytona Beach. 69 degrees on the track temp, 68 degrees in the air. Really cool night here for June in Daytona. As somebody who went to the July Daytona race pretty much every year from 2008 to 2019, is not normally this cold on a summer Daytona night. This would have been very welcomed at the track there. But we go racing on a fairly cool track, adding a little bit of grip to these drivers, and pace car going to make its way into the pit lane, and we are back underway here from Daytona. Already making it 3 wide. Couple of drivers starting to peek their way here. On the inside, it's Mark Thomas. Nobody going to go with him. He's going to fall like a rock straight to the back. Sherman now going to try and go for the lead into 1. Looking for the lead. He will take it coming onto the back straightaway. Good start to the night for Derek Sherman in the 51. We don't talk about him much as a driver up front and racing with the leaders. He's now leading the way here at Daytona. Dylan McDonald's in the 38, right behind, trying to reel him in. But he moves away just slightly as here comes the 50 of Mark Thomas, rallying back. Huge run on the inside. He's going to grab that second spot. He's got help from Carl Hendrick behind as the field will bunch themselves up heading through the tri-oval.
And you can see the 50 going to try and make a move for P1 as the 51 seems to get a little loose. So that's going to make an easy pass for P1 for the 50.
Here comes the 18 of Carl Handwerk there on the inside as well. To the back straightaway they go. Handwerk taking a peek to the inside. He's going to try and look for the lead. Tucked back in behind the 50. Not going to go for it yet. Will he go for it here? You're on board at the 18. Right on the bottom of the racetrack, scraping the apron almost. He moves the 50 up the track looking for the lead. He will take the lead at the line. Side by side now for second. It's McDonald and Thomas. Here comes the 2 of Nick Nickerson up here to the front as well. Wesley Fuller in tow in the 35. Andrews there as well. First time we're talking about Eric Andrews all night. Top 5 cars up here, all beating and banging, battling for the lead. Here comes Wesley Fuller now, side by side with Dylan McDonald for the race lead. Fuller will take it heading into 3. Help from the 2 behind. The 9 of Eric Andrews in tow as well. 35 taps the apron, moves his way up the track, but the caution comes out. Cars involved in a wreck on the back straightaway. Jimmy Covert involved heading into turn 3.
Interested to see what happened to the 14 car. Seems like there's some damage on that front end of that car. So we're going to take a look at the replay. You can see some cars up ahead that were turned a little bit. So I'm very curious to know what happened. So you can see the 14 right beside the 51. Seems solid as of right now. Is up on the top line, and the 51 makes contact with his rear. And a few more cars get collected with that crash.
That was Joshua Bulliter. Oh, and the 68 of Paul Butler. He was one of our playoff drivers. That is not the start to the round that he wanted. He's now going to need to take his fast repair. We'll go a little bit further back, see exactly how this developed. They're coming out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. They head into turn number 3. And the 51 got loose heading down there. Taps the 14. Taps the 3. The 3 goes right up into the 68. Nothing Butler could have done. Oh, and the 17 and Dave Lohr gets involved in that one too. His bad season turns to worse. A lot of cars now going to need to come down into the pit lane and take their fast repair, which means they will not have it for possibly later in the race when the big one strikes. So we're under the second caution of the night, working lap number 9, about to cross over into lap number 10 here at the World Center of Racing from the Daytona International Speedway. Cars coming into the pit lane. Everybody except your leader, the 35, Wesley Fuller. We'll have the results from the pit lane and the restart when we return here on Racecraft TV.
We needed more.
More from our bodies.
More from our minds.
So we went on a mission.
To study the top level of performance across every competitive playing field.
To find what fuels the highest level of athletes, businessmen, and gamers.
Through intense trials across every competitive landscape, we found that there were 5 undeniable principles that help your body operate at the highest level of peak performance all the time.
Focus. The ability to visualize and execute with precision. Focus is the single most important component when it comes to performance.
We combined multiple choline sources, including alpha GPC, choline bitartrate, along with L-tyrosine to help boost mental performance.
Recovery.
We need to take you from 5% to 100% as fast as possible. Bounce back with nourishing BCAAs.
For body and mind. Energy.
Fuel to get the job done. Answer the bell with confidence that you'll be able to attack with energy and intensity.
We mix a blend of instant and sustained release caffeine to light a fire with
3 of go.
stamina.
The willpower to see it to the end.
But true stamina is coming back day after month after year. We incorporated L-carnitine to deliver energy on a cellular level, with betaine anhydrous and taurine augmenting those effects.
Hydration. Sports science was built on hydration.
That's why we added a blend of electrolytes to help sustain performance. We tried all of the other energy drinks. They may help you stay awake, but not much else. We combined all 5 pillars of performance into one single form.
Focus.
Recovery.
Energy,
Stamina.
and hydration. We call it refresh technology.
It delivers more.
Welcome back to the virtual Daytona International Speedway, working under caution for the second time tonight here in the Core Racing Vintage Cup Series. Getting ready to go back to racing onto lap number 12. Once again, working our way in the second caution period of the evening. Wesley Fuller, after staying out on that last pit stop, albeit not really much of his choice. Nobody looked like they were coming in behind him. But then everybody came in right as Wesley Fuller couldn't decide to come in, and it was too late for him to decide if he wanted to come in or not. So, he'll lead the way. Dylan McDonald in second, then Nick Nickerson in third. Eric Andrews, Mark Thomas rounding out your top 5. Top 3 stack up here as they get ready to go back to racing here at Daytona. Pace car down and away. And on the loud pedal is the 35. We're back underway from Daytona.
You can see the 38 already pushing the 35, so curious to know if the 35 was sleeping on that line, but you can see the 38 having a nice start right behind him, so I'm interested to see how long it takes for Dylan McDonald to take the lead from the 35.
Right on that back bumper, will he go for it here on the back straightaway? Down the super stretch they come. The 2 goes to the outside of the 38, looking for that spot. Shuffling going on further back as everybody gets up to full song. Coming down the back straightaway, 212 miles an hour as they dive into turn number 3. The 2 on the outside, the 35 of Fuller on the inside. He'll protect that inside line. He'll keep the lead. Goes back up to the outside to try and protect that lane. He will do that as well. Working both lanes is the 35 as he leads the way here on lap number 13.
And the 2 seems to be a little left alone up at the top because the 9's going right by him following the 38. But an opening opens for the 2 as they're going 3 wide into turn 1 and 2.
Dylan McDonald will retake the lead. The 2 back to the outside. The 35 of Fuller going to fall way down on the outside line. The inside line starting to form up good as McDonald sits in the lead. It's Eric Andrews now shoving him in the 9. The 2 leads the outside line. Only help is the 35. The 35 going to brush the wall coming through turn 4. Side by side, further back as everybody gets settled in. 4 cars inside line. Make that 5 as the 38 goes down there to block. No help on the outside line for the 2. He only has the 35 up there. Everybody else on the inside. Now here comes the 9 to the outside. He'll go in front of the 2, looking for the help. He'll dive right back to the inside. Not a lot of help up there for the 2. He had a little bit of a momentum build with the 9 car there, but it fizzled out as now Andrews sits on the inside line right behind your leader, Dylan McDonald. Andrews back down to the bottom. He'll try and retake the lead. They're side by side for the race lead. Still side by side. 3 cars outside, 4 cars inside. As they work back onto the back straightaway, Andrews leads. Here comes Carl Handwerk now to the inside. Huge block thrown from the 9. They're 3 wide for second. Everybody shuffling around, but Handwerk's going to get through for second place. The 9 of Eric Andrews still blocking that inside. Andrews still trying to protect that inside. Handwerk still there on the inside, trying to force his way by. The 2 still trying to make the outside line work. It's not working for him that well, as he's not going to be able to power around for the lead. Mark Thomas now hops up there to try and help him. Dylan McDonald is up there. The 68 of Paul Butler, he used his faster bear. He's back up here battling for the lead. Down the back straightaway once again. Andrews still leads. You can see Handwerk trying to work his way at least around the 2 to use that outside line. But the 2, even with little help, is still able to run up there, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Handwerk tries to go up. Door going to be wide open for the 2 of Nickerson. He forced his way up there.
And you can see he's running really quickly on the straightaways, but as soon as the 2 goes into the turns, that's when he sort of loses everybody. So he's running the high line, almost making contact with the wall, but it seems that the 18 is completely cleared, I'm pretty sure, from the 2. So it's going to be interesting to see how the 2 retaliates from that, as he's running the high line side by side pretty much with the 18.
3-car battle for the lead. You can see the 18 and the 2 side by side for second. The 9 of Eric Andrews loving what he's seeing in his mirror. He's able to keep the lead. The 2 hits the wall, makes contact with the 18. Handwerk slams off the wall going into the corner. Disaster for both of those drivers. They're falling down the order.
You know, very lucky save for both of those drivers, as the 2 completely dove to the inside line of the track, and then the 18 went up to the wall. You can see a replay right here. The 2 is running the high line, and then just at the exit of the turn, I'm pretty sure, yes, he makes contact with the wall and taps the rear bumper of the 18. So a lucky save for both drivers as they continue to go green here at Daytona.
It was, I do not know how Handwerk did not get turned more than he did there. He only bounced off the wall. He didn't turn into anybody else on the racetrack. All he did was bounce off the wall. He's still good to go. He's still in the pack. Same thing with the 2, albeit a little bit further back, but they're still up to full speed. Neither of them with at least damage they need to pit for yet. So they're still good. That was an insane save. And you can remember back 1 week ago, Jordan, at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, it was the 2 and the 18 battling for the win. White flag lap, diving into turn 1. Handwerk makes contact with the 2, sends both of them around, and then Kevin Foster in the 8 gets through to win the race. I'm not trying to call anything out here, but I think it's going to be the 2 and the 18 rivaling for this championship, and both of them making contact. They're coming off of turn 4. It's probably a coincidence, but that is one of the most entertaining coincidences I think we could see.
You know, definitely, and especially because of how hard they were racing, because, you know, I'm surprised the 2 even kept it up on the high line for that long without even hitting the wall a lot earlier. And so that battle between those 2 just keeps heating up every single week. And so I'm still surprised that they're actually still going on the race right now and that we're not under caution flag. But a huge congratulations to the the 50 of Mark Thomas in the lead right now, as they both, him and the 9, both made it through that tremendous wreck. As once again, I'm surprised the caution was not thrown for that.
They're still racing, 20 laps down, 30 to go here at the World Center of Racing. Andrews out in front. Eric Andrews is one of our playoff drivers coming into tonight, and he is also looking for a good finish. He started back in 14th. He's up 12 spots from where he originally started the night. Looking for a good finish here at Daytona to lock himself into the next round. A win will lock himself into Kansas. But somebody else also looking to get locked in, the 64, Christopher Hamilton. He sits there in second place right now on the inside line. He could also use a win here to lock himself into the playoffs, or into the championship round of the playoffs. Third place, Mark Thomas on the outside, not eligible for the playoffs anymore. Not in the playoffs, not eligible for the championship round. He's just looking to cap off his season with a good finish to the rest of the races here. Dylan McDonald we'll go to Wesley Fuller as he now makes his way into third. He's in the playoffs as well. He could use a win. Top 3 all in the playoffs, and all could use wins to lock themselves in. Fuller gets way loose coming out of the tri-oval, but he saves it.
A nice save right there, as these cars are bumper to bumper, and so once again, nice control for the 35, as you know, it's not really easy to do such thing like that, especially when you're going about 210 miles an hour at Daytona.
We'll go on board with Eric Andrews here when he works his way into turn number 4, because do want to see exactly how fast they are going into these corners. Let's go on board. You'll see exactly what Eric Andrews is seeing. You can look bottom of our timing tower. You can see 205 going through the tri-oval, the lowest banked turn on this track. Going into turn number 1, 209 as he dives into the corner. Has to let off the gas to be able to make it all the way around. 195, the speed he carries through the middle of the corner. Shoots himself onto the super stretch. 200, not even halfway down. 205, 206, 7, 8, 9, 10. He makes up to 212 as he dives into turn number 3. Lets off the gas and then carries over 200 miles an hour through the middle of the corner. Has to let off. He got too loose. And that completes a lap at Daytona. The lap time at the front of the pack, not even with drafting help in front of him, 44.186. These drivers out here defy logic in these cars. And we're working our way past halfway here in this race. Everybody single file. Then 50 going to be the one to break out of line. He goes to the inside. That's going to shuffle the 64 of Christopher Hamilton right back to the back of this field. Everybody getting a little bit loose on that inside. That's how it's been all day. The 9 of Eric Andrews taps the wall coming off of 4. Thomas will retake the lead. Oh, and the 18 gets loose to the tri-oval. He's able to save it once again. Another great save getting through the tri-oval. But I think he might have made contact with the 2 there. Either way, it was right in front of the 2. That's going to move Nick Nickerson now back down into 5th. Everybody 2 by 2. The 50 of Mark Thomas loving what he's seeing right now. He's checking out from the rest of the field up front. They can see the rest of the field, and you can see going through turn 4, the 38 gets loose. McDonald sends him into the pack. The big one at Daytona strikes. 3, 4 cars involved on the front straightaway. The caution comes out. Andrews, huge damage to the 9. He goes straight into the pit lane. He'll be able to grab his fast repair. But a great day for the 9 is going to be at least temporarily halted. What on earth happened here? The first major wreck of the day. I should say the second major wreck of the day. This was only about 3-4 cars. Started with the 38 up front. Second place. Got a little bit too loose. Overcorrected. That sends the 9 hard up into the wall. A hard hit. The 68 taps the wall. The 2 got a substantial amount of damage there. We'll grab one more look here. I want to grab specifically with the 2. You can see sends the 9 right on top of the 2. 68 with damage. That's Paul Butler. He's already taken his fast repair. Unfortunate for a lot of those drivers out there on the track. Especially those who have not taken a fast repair, or have taken their fast repair. Paul Butler has taken his fast repair. Andrew Gunther has taken his fast repair. Looks like he was able to avoid that incident. Eric Andrews has taken his fast repair after that incident, so he's back on the track. Dave Lohr with even more damage. He's already taken his fast repair. Carnes come down into the pit lane. Andrew Gunther, Matt Crockett stay out. Mark Thomas into the pit lane. He leads everybody else on the lead lap in except for those front 2 drivers. We'll go to break here on Racecraft TV, but don't go anywhere. Green flag action when we return from the World Center of Racing. You're watching the Core Racing Vintage Cup Series live on Racecraft TV.
We needed more.
More from our bodies.
More from our minds.
So we went on a mission.
To study the top level of performance across every competitive playing field.
To find what fuels the highest level of athletes, businessmen, and gamers.
Through intense trials across every competitive landscape, we found that there were 5 undeniable principles that help your body operate at the highest level of peak performance all the time.
Focus. The ability to visualize and execute with precision. Focus is the single most important component when it comes to performance.
We combined multiple choline sources, including alpha GPC, choline bitartrate, along with L-tyrosine to help boost mental performance.
Recovery.
We need to take you from 5% to 100% as fast as possible. Bounce back with nourishing BCAAs.
For body and mind. Energy.
Fuel to get the job done. Answer the bell with confidence that you'll be able to attack energy and intensity.
We mix a blend of instant and sustained release caffeine to light a fire with
300 milligrams of GO.
stamina.
The willpower to see it to the end.
But true stamina is coming back day after month after year. We incorporated L-carnitine to deliver energy on a cellular level, with betaine anhydrous and taurine augmenting those effects.
Hydration. Sports science was built on hydration, and it's no secret why.
That's why we added a blend of electrolytes to help sustain performance. We tried all of the other energy drinks. They may help you stay awake, but not much else. We combined all 5 pillars of performance into one single form.
Focus.
Recovery.
Energy,
Stamina.
and hydration. We call it Refresh Technology.
And it delivers more.
Welcome back to the virtual Daytona International Speedway for the Core Racing Vintage Cup Series, live on Racecraft TV. Working our way onto lap number 30 when they come across the line to retake the green flag, and 21 laps to go here from Daytona. The 50 of Mark Thomas leads the way, looking for his second restrictor plate track win of the season. Christopher Hamilton in the 64 right behind, looking to lock himself into the next round of the playoffs. So is Kevin Foster, Nick Nickerson, and Wesley Fuller. They round out your top 5. Pace car back down in the safety of pit lane. Mark Thomas in control of the field. Single file restart as we go green. Right back on the loud pedal goes everybody here in this field. They work up the full song as they head into turn 1. 4-car breakaway up at the front. Everybody else spread out from Fuller on back. 4 cars drafting their way down the super stretch at Daytona. Hamilton there in second place, trying to work his way around the 50. Staying in line for the meantime. Everybody single file here on the racetrack, especially in this front pack. Nobody trying to step out of line just yet. 20 to go. Down to the inside goes the 3. 1 car getting loose in this lead pack. Looks to be the 50-year leader, Mark Thomas. Still loose, working his way through turn 2. Wesley Fuller joins this fight. Now Mark Thomas goes to the outside line.
And Josh, I don't know if you noticed, there was a car rubbing the wall in the back. Not too sure who it was. But you can see the 50. He seemed a little bit out of line a few seconds ago, but he seems pretty solid right now as the 8 of Kevin Foster making his first appearance up in the top pack of the night, I believe.
And he's right on the back bumper of Mark Thomas, looking for that lead. This is your current battle for the lead. You can see it unfolding right here. Foster looking to the inside. The 50 going to block off the spot. To the back straightaway they go. Will he be able to make it happen? He will. Down to the inside goes Foster. He'll take the lead. A lot of help from the 2 behind as well. Here comes Nick Nickerson. Will he be able to take the lead? Right on the back bumper as they work down the front straightaway into the tri-oval once again. Everybody sideways as they go 200 plus. To the inside goes the 2. Retaking the lead is Nick Nickerson up at the front. Fuller in second place now. Fuller looking to lock himself into the next round of the playoffs. The 2 comes into this race with 5 bonus points as well. Fuller comes into this race with 0 bonus points. He's going to have to work for it. A win will lock him into the next round. Gets very loose going down into 3. He's able to save it. The 2 rubbing the wall up in front. Don't think he made any contact with it, but very close to it is the 2. 17 to go from the World's Center of Racing. And as we have 17 to go, and you can see the field working their way onto the super stretch, we'll go Racecraft TV Sounds of Speed. Let you experience the 2.5 mile super speedway that is the legendary Daytona. Caution out on the racetrack. It looked like there was maybe 2 incidents there. Believe the 38 of Dylan McDonald was involved in the latest one. We'll go back to the first one that you might have noticed there during Racecraft TV Sounds of Speed. It was the 3 of Joshua Bellitter who got turned around and taps the wall going into 3. Can't save it. Down in front of the 59. Slams into the 59. And that sent the 3 spinning in turn 4. Then I believe Dylan McDonald was involved in the second one of these incidents. Oh, he was. He was involved in that same incident, it looked like. No, a completely separate incident. Tapped the wall coming off turn 4. Sends it down to the inside. Slight tap to the wall. Just enough to get him going straight, but then through the infield, and it looks like that's what brought out the caution. Him going slow into the infield and back onto the racetrack. So that brings out the 4th caution of the night. 15 laps to go. And Jordan, they were racing like it was the last lap there. Everybody shuffling around, fighting for positions, but we've seen it all night. We've seen it all season. These cars are tough to handle. It's going to be the driver that can tame the car that's going to walk away with the win.
You know, definitely, and 15 laps to go here at Daytona isn't the longest amount of time, so these drivers really got to stay focused, I would say, in order to actually make it to the finish, because we've had a lot of wrecks tonight, and we don't want to see, for example, the two of Nickerson go out with about, say, 10 laps to go. So he's really got to stay very focused, as they are all pulling into the pit lane right now, so curious to see how they're going to do it.
Everybody is in except for the 10 of Matt Crockett, one of our playoff drivers. He's looking to have a wild card strategy and pull out a win, but everybody else is into the pit lane, whether it's tires and fuel or just fuel. Believe the 2 took just fuel. Make sure he's good to the end. No tires for the 2 car. The 50, the same thing. The 9 car, same thing. Hamilton takes 4 tires. Everybody else in the pits takes 4 tires. Looks like Thomas took 2 tires. Foster with 4. Hamilton with 4. Fuller, McDonald, even everybody else with 4 tires on the pit stop. Nickerson leaves the pits with no tires. Eric Andrews leaves the pits with no tires. Mark Thomas leaves the pits with 2 tires. Already starting to see those unique strategies peek through here at the Daytona International Speedway. And we go back racing when we return here on Racecraft TV. Don't go anywhere. The final laps of the Core Racing Vintage Cup Series race from the Daytona International Speedway is coming up right after this. Welcome back to the Daytona International Speedway, getting ready to go back to racing in the Core Racing Vintage Cup Series. Matt Crockett leads the way after staying out on that last caution. The 50 of Mark Thomas with 2 tires on his stop. The 2 starting at the tail end of this field. That is going to be interesting to see how he fights his way back. 12 laps to go. We're back underway here at Daytona. The 68 of Paul Butler, 4 laps down after getting caught up in another incident. He got his damage repaired, but he is not on the lead lap. But single file restart, he started on the inside. Butler will go out to the lead of this pack. That's giving a good tow to the 9 of Eric Andrews. Andrews going to now lead the way out of your lead lap cars. Almost making it 3 wide. Up the middle is the 8 of Foster. Foster all over the back bumper of the 9. Butler pulls away out in front once again. Lapped machine. The 50 of Mark Thomas makes it 3 wide up the middle. Crockett in the wall. He slams off of it. He keeps it going straight. We stay green. Eric Andrews now leading the way at the line. Kevin Foster looking for the spot. We could very well see here a surprise winner walk away with this win. Christopher Hamilton, I wouldn't classify him as one of those surprise drivers. He's now back up here in the front. Can he continue his dominating form this season? Andrews will shuffle out the 68 of Butler. Now getting held up is Kevin Foster by that lap machine. He's going to try and split him 3 wide. Andrews leads, 10 to go at the line. Hamilton sits right tucked in on his back bumper. He looks for the spot, goes to the outside. Fuller goes to the inside. He's there on the inside line. Eric Andrews throws the block. Fuller gonna be forced it down there. He's loose. Contact with a 64. The big one at Daytona in turn 2.
And that just collected about, I would say, 75% of the field right there, as that was a pretty big one. As you can see, that took out P2. I'm pretty sure it was the 64 of Christopher Hamilton. Definitely, I don't think he's happy with that one. But once again, that was a huge one, as that collected a few cars. And Josh, I'm pretty sure we saw at least one car up on top of a hood of another.
There's another replay. It was a lot of fast machinery all taken out there in turn 2. We said it in the pre-show. It's not a matter of if the big one will happen. It's when at Daytona. That's when. Everybody racing the final 10 laps. Everybody trying to fight for glory. And there's only so much glory they can possibly fight for. This started right here. The 9 of Eric Andrews blocks the 35 of Fuller. Fuller had the door closed on him, reacted by going down to the bottom, came back up too quickly, got loose, hits the 64. They both go spinning right in front of the pack. And that collected looks to be 7 cars, 6 cars, something like that. Man, just a lot of fast cars torn up right there. We'll grab another look at it here from the spotter cam. There's the 35 getting blocked. And here's the 68. Contact made. Both spin, collect covert, collect handwork, collect Foster, collect Thomas, collect Butler. 7 cars junked in turn 2. So now most of these cars will come down into the pit lane. The drivers caught up in that wreck who did not use their fast repair yet: Hamilton, Fuller, Handwork, Foster, Thomas. Butler has used his fast repair, but he's back in the pits to try and work that damage out. Jimmy Covert stays out on the racetrack, forced to. He has used his fast repair, so he's going to have to try and limp home that damage number 14. But everybody else who has used their fast repair night dodged a bullet by not getting involved in that wreck. The 9, the 2, the 38, the 10, the 17. All not involved in the incident. And I believe this might be the first time all season, Jordan, every single driver in the field has used their quick repair.
You know, it just shows how hard they're racing, because I'm pretty sure we were on to, like the 5th caution of the night. And so a lot of damage here tonight, because they weren't just small little incidents. They were big wrecks. And like you were saying, these drivers that are left out on the track right now that have used their fast repair, they got really lucky going in through that last one.
And it is a fast repair limit of 1, so they only have 1 to their disposal that they can use. Majority of the drivers have used it. Every driver has now used it. Majority of the drivers that used it before that last incident did miss that incident. The only driver that had used it and got caught up in the incident was Jimmy Covert. Well, as the field comes across the start-finish line, believe this will be 1 to go. Yes, it is. So we will be going back to green with 6 laps to go. Now, if we need it, we will have 1 attempt at a green-white checkered finish. If you're not familiar with how green-white checkered finishes operate, it is NASCAR's version of overtime. They'll take the green flag. If a wreck happens on that green flag lap and a caution is called, the race will be official and end there. But if they make it around to the white flag, the race will end under the checkered flag. There's no way a caution can be called on the final lap in iRacing. 1 attempt to get to the white flag. Once they get to the white flag, race is official. They will race back to the line for the checkered, if we need it. Now, the way tonight's been going, we might need it. Going back to racing, 6 laps to go. And now, there is a lot of hungry drivers that were racing up at the front and got caught up in that incident that now sit 6th on back. Christopher Hamilton, 6th place. Handwork in 7th. Fuller in 8th. Thomas 9th. Andrew Gunther 10th. Kevin Foster back out on the racetrack. He's in 11th. Jimmy Covert, he came into the pit lane to try and get a little bit of his damage repaired. He did. He's in 12th. Paul Butler rounds out your field in 13th. Ready to go back to racing. 6 laps to go. The iRacing pace car down and away. Andrews in control of the field. We're back green. Already shuffling around further back is the entire field. Top 3, Andrews, Nickerson, McDonald. Crockett edging out side by side with Carl Handwork, the 18, fighting back to the front. They race down the super stretch. There's Carl Handwork. Huge run on the outside line. He'll move his way up into row 2. He's in 3rd, battling for 2nd place with the 2. Back to the front straightaway. Handwork with a huge run. Will he be able to do anything with it? Still side by side for 2nd. Not able to punch a hole into the lead of Eric Andrews. And Andrews is spun. Andrews gets turned by Nickerson in the 2. Caution is called. The 38 of McDonald involved. He's up in the air on top of the 68.
Josh, I don't know what was bigger, that one or the previous wreck before, because we just saw a car rolling.
That was a chain of 2 incidents there. We'll take a look at the first one. It was the 9 of Andrews got turned by the 2. And I think that could just be a product of this restrictor plate racing. I don't think it was the fault of the 2 car. Here they come out of the tri-oval. Just got a little bit too much on the bumper. That spun the 9 around. And then the 2 somehow got spun. Oh, it slammed into the wall too. That could be day over for the 2 car. Back onto the front straightaway. Take another look at the replay. Because the 2 somehow got spun. So he spins the 9. Oh, the 38 got into the 2. And then the 38 spun himself. Contact with the 17. And up into the air goes the 38 of McDonald. Slamming into himself and the catch fence. One more look at this and we'll take a look of specifically that 38. And he makes contact there. Contact with the 17 there. Up and over, flipping it into the wall. It's a product of this racetrack and this type of racing. Well, familiar face up front is Handwork. Familiar face in 2nd place, it's Hamilton. Matt Crockett, Wesley Fuller. 2 other playoff drivers looking to lock themselves into the championship round. They sit 3rd and 4th. Mark Thomas trying to go back-to-back in restrictor plate wins. He sits in 5th. So that's your top 5. 3 laps to go. We will be going into overtime. That is only going to make this even more intense of a finish. Field pacing through turns 1 and 2. With Handwork's lead, we'll grab a look at the total amount of pit stops these drivers have made tonight, and you can see pretty much a huge portion of the field. We're on, I believe, caution 6 now. So a majority of the field pitting on pretty much every caution like we're used to seeing in this series. Derek Sherman retired from the race. He's 30 laps down, which is why he only has 2 pit stops on the day. But everybody pacing behind the iRacing.com pace car. Ready to settle it out here at Daytona. Now, when we go into overtime, it will be the only attempt at overtime. So if they wreck and a caution is called, when that green flag is out, then that means the race will end under the yellow flag. If they make it to the white flag, they will race back to the checkered flag no matter what. A full field, or sorry, a full stands of virtual fans here for the Core Racing Vintage Cup Series. We will race in overtime. 2 laps to settle it. And that is all these drivers will have. Handwork, Hamilton, Crockett, and Fuller, your top 4. With this win, any 4 of them can lock themselves into the championship round of the playoffs. The 50 of Mark Thomas, looking to go back-to-back. He won a couple of months ago at Talladega. He's looking to now win at Daytona. Kevin Foster in the 8. He won last week at New Hampshire to lock himself into this round. He's trying to now lock himself into the championship with a win here. He'll restart in 6th. Andrew Gunther looking to rebound after getting caught up in an incident earlier on tonight. He sits in 7th place. The 14 of Jimmy Covert looking to end his season on a high. He sits with a damaged race car in 8th. Eric Andrews in 9th, also looking to lock himself into the championship round of the playoffs. The 2 rejoins, damaged car and all, in P10. He's also looking to lock himself into the championship round. A lot is on the line. And as the field makes their way down the front straightaway, in control by the 18 of Handwork. Pace car down and in. We're back racing. Green, white, checkered from Daytona. It's a good start for Handwork. He's able to get out in front already, leading by a solid 2 car lengths over Hamilton. What will Hamilton have to say about it? He's got Matt Crockett all on his back bumper. Crockett also looking for a race win. Fuller's there as well. Top 4, all playoff drivers. They shuffle. Fuller with a huge shove to the 64. Will it be too much? He shoves the 18 further into the lead. Handwork almost sideways going through turn 3. Onto the front straightaway they go. White flag in the hand of Barney the Flagman. Who will come across to take the checker? White flag. One more lap around Daytona. Crockett shuffles back into line. Fuller going to try and take the spot away from the 64 of Christopher Hamilton. Hamilton up to the top of the racetrack. Handwork still leads out in front. Fuller now. Open track ahead of him. Can he make his way around the 18? Side by side in the back. Fuller goes to the outside line. Will it be enough? Here comes Mark Thomas in the 15 to the back bumper in the 18. Who's going to get around to win the race? Fuller trying a side draft. They're coming to the line. Fuller wrecks. Everybody wrecks back from your leader. And coming across the line, Carl Handwork wins the race and locks himself into the championship. An insane final lap wreck from second on back will move the 18 of Carl Handwerk into the championship round in Kansas. Fireworks go off after an epic night here at the World Center of Racing. And the 18 is going to go racing for a championship. He was not locked into this round 2. He had to fight for that one. He doesn't need to fight the remainder of this round, as he walks away a winner here at Daytona, survives the mayhem, and he'll burn it down on the front straightaway and walk away a winner tonight. And he'll reshift his focus to Homestead, or to Kansas, to fight for a championship. Grabbing a look at your full race results before we enter our post-race show. Handwerk got it done with Foster in second place. Andrew Gunther, Nick Nickerson rebounds for fourth place. A great run for him at the end. Christopher Hamilton ends up in fifth. Dave Lohr, Eric Andrews, Matt Crockett, Jimmy Covert, Mark Thomas rounding out your top 10. 11th, Wesley Fuller. Man, he was so close to the win. He ends in 11th. Paul Butler in 12th. Dylan McDonald, Joshua Bellitter, and Derek Sherman rounds out your top 15. And all 15 cars that took the green here at Daytona. Before we enter our post-race show, grab an interview with Carl Handwerk. Do want to go back and take a look at that last lap incident, because it was a huge incident to end this race. We'll grab a look. Here's the restart. We're going to go a little bit forward from the restart here. Specifically want to look at that last lap incident, and here it is. The 35 of Fuller just trying to get down into that bottom line. I think Fuller knew at that point. Here he is going to the outside looking for the lead. And he didn't have enough, tried to side draft. Maybe got loose. He got loose, tried to catch it. Contact with the 50. That was everybody in that pack going around, and hard hit for all of them. But at the end of the day, it's the 18 of Carl Handwerk grabbing the win here from the virtual Daytona International Speedway. He joins us up here in the booth now. Carl, welcome to the Racecraft TV commentary box, and congratulations. You're going racing for a championship in Kansas.
Yeah, I'm glad to get this one out of the way. Obviously this is our first race since iRacing kind of did their updates and everything like that, and I like what they did because coming to these super speedways, it was normally really snappy going to the corners, and here it wasn't as bad. But wow, I mean, I thought last night was a war of attrition. Tonight was, that was rough. I way too many scratches on the car, but somehow we got through at the end at the right time and finished on top. I'll take it.
And he talked about those changes iRacing made. Do you think they definitely helped you going into tonight? Because we just still did see it was a lot of snapping around, but it was mid-corner to exit. It did look like on the entrance to the corner, those cars weren't sliding as much as they used to. Because looking back at Talladega, that was where the majority of the incidents were. It was sliding on the entry. This one, it looked like a little bit more middle to exit.
Yeah, and that's pretty much exactly where it was. There was still a little bit of looseness going in, depending on how you enter the corner, but it was doable. I mean, back when the old package was in there, it was almost undrivable. You basically had to drive it like you needed to break into the corner just to keep it safe. But now with this one, it's definitely a lot more drivable, but it hits a lot higher top speeds, and almost to the point where once these tires wear in, because they really wear pretty quickly here. You're having to let off a lot, if not actually grab the brake a little bit going in here. You're carrying so much speed, so it definitely changed them a lot. And I think that's probably what caused some of these incidents, because the pack was allowed to be a little bit more racy and kind of be around each other, so that caused a little bit more friction. But yeah, I like it. I like this package a little bit better. Now, granted, it's only one race, but it doesn't feel as floaty like the last series of it. Kind of just felt like you were floating up on top of the tires. This one feels like it's a little bit more of car and tire together instead of separately.
Now, you don't have to worry about the last two races of this round, Atlanta and Richmond. Now, your focus is getting set on Kansas. Do you think you're confident at Kansas and that you can walk away a champion? Because even though nobody else is locked in but you, it's going to be a tough 3 other drivers that you're going to have to fight in a couple weeks' time.
I don't know what I'm more happy about, being locked into Kansas or not having to worry about Richmond. I mean, I was not looking forward to Richmond, being kind of the last deal breaker before the championship, because it doesn't really suit my eye. It's not a kind of track that I like to drive. I mean, maybe with this new package, it would have been a little bit better, but I'm just glad I can go into Richmond and not give a crap. That's what I'm more concerned about. But yeah, I mean, last race at Kansas, it's kind of like Core's unofficial home track. So we've driven it a bunch of times. I believe it'll be the first time with these 87 cars. So it'll be something new to learn. And obviously with the new package, either way, it's gonna be something new to learn. So any of these guys out here can win, just about any night. I know there's a couple guys that seem to be towards the top here and there, but it's usually a crapshoot coming towards the end of these races, whether it's on fuel mileage or somebody burns up their tires or whatever it is. So no matter who makes it through, no matter who the other 3 are that I'm going to be battling, it's going to be just that. It's going to be a battle.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here on the post-race show on Racecraft TV. Anybody else you would like to thank?
Yeah, thank all our sponsors out there. You guys, Racecraft TV, Wood Nickel Woodworking, Joka Graphics, Raise Energy, everybody that helps me do this in the admin side of it, and all the drivers. It's fun week in, week out.
Thank you so much for joining us here. That's Carl Handwerk, your race winner from Daytona. He locks himself into the championship round of the playoffs. That does it for our coverage here of the Core Racing Vintage Cup Series on Racecraft TV. Join us 1 week's time. We go racing from the virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway for the second race of the second round of the Core Racing Vintage Cup Series playoffs. For Jordan Hicks, I'm Joshua Lee, when we're saying good night from virtual Daytona.